Step into a world of romance and mystery with Tamora Rose. Every so often, as writers, we run headfirst into a wall. Not the kind of wall made of blank pages and blinking cursors. No, that one's easy. Writer's block means there's nothing there at all. You can rest or take a walk or eat chocolate and try again tomorrow. But what I ran into recently wasn't a lack of words. I had plenty of words. They just weren't the right ones. I was working on an especially intense scene in my next novel, one of those emotional turning points that can make or break a character arc. Nothing was landing. The dialogue was wooden. The descriptions were there, technically, but they rang hollow. I could see the characters, hear them even, but I couldn't feel them. And if I couldn't feel them, how could I expect anyone else to? At first, I tried to push through it. I kept rewriting the same paragraph, changing a phrase here or a sentence there, but it all fell flat. It felt like I was watching my story from behind glass, close enough to see the shapes, but too far away to touch them. And that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't the structure. It wasn't the pacing or the plot. It was the emotion. Emotion is the lifeblood of every good story, especially romance. Without it, even the most beautifully crafted sentence lies there, cold and lifeless. And sometimes, when you've been deep in a draft for too long, you lose touch with that heartbeat. You start writing around the feeling instead of through it. So I took a step back. I gave myself permission to stop forcing prose that wasn't working. Instead, I turned to a different language, the language of poetry. Now, before you panic and think you need to become the next Keats or Byron, let me assure you, this isn't about meter or rhyme or literary technique. This is about rhythm, breath, truth. Poetry is the rawest form of emotion we have. It's where words stop trying to explain and start trying to feel. I rewrote that entire scene as a poem. I stripped away dialogue tags, setting, and even character names. I let the emotion speak first. I let the rhythm guide me. Each line became a heartbeat, one closer to what I was really trying to say. And when I finished, I realized that I had finally found it, the pulse of the moment. Then came the fun part, turning that poem back into prose. I let the poem become the foundation, the emotional skeleton, and built the scene around it. Suddenly, the dialogue carried weight. The descriptions had meaning. The emotion was alive. It wasn't faster. It took me 3 days of frustration and reflection to get there. But the result was worth every second. That scene now feels like one of the strongest in the book so far. And it's all because I stopped trying to write and started trying to listen. Poetry, at its core, is all about honesty. It asks, "What are you feeling?" and refuses to let you answer that with cliches. It demands that you strip your language bare and tell the truth, even when that truth is messy. Especially when it's messy. For romance writers, this is essential. Love, heartbreak, longing, passion. These emotions deserve more than surface-level treatment. They deserve to be felt. And poetry helps us access that. It bypasses the intellect and heads straight for the heart. So the next time you find yourself staring at a scene that just won't come together, when the words feel hollow and the spark is gone, don't give up. Try rewriting it as a poem. Even if you've never written a line of poetry in your life. Even if it feels awkward or silly. Especially if it feels awkward or silly. Let the rhythm carry you. Let the feeling guide the structure. Forget about novel writing. Forget about the perfect sentences. Just let yourself speak the emotion of the scene in its purest form. Once you've done that, the prose will follow naturally, like a melody finding its harmony. Because that's what good writing really is: emotion given structure, feeling given shape. When we tap into poetry, we remember why we started writing in the first place. Not to fill pages, but to connect hearts. That's it for today. Tell me in the comments, have you ever used poetry to rekindle your writing spark? Or do you think it might help with your current project? Until we meet again, may your days be filled with passion and just a touch of magic.